Yeah, LOZ. We gotta bring it out. Pick up the lost sheep. Yeah, hey, hey, hey. Bring it out. We got the truth and we bring it out. We cannot lose when we bring it out. We making moves and we bring it out. Hey, bring it out. We got the truth and we bring it out. We cannot lose when we bring it out. We making moves and we bring it out. LOZ, let's go. Bring it out. We got the truth and we bring it out. We cannot lose when we bring it out. We making moves and we bring it out. Hey, bring it out. LOZ, got the truth and we bring it out. We cannot lose when we bring it out. We making moves and we bring it out. Let's go. Wake up the sheep. My people falling asleep. We got it strong now. We put in that work in now. We put the work in the streets. We trying to build up the nation. Be patient. My people been facing defeat. We teach of repentance. We deep in them trenches. You know that we bringing the heat. We just killing demons like every day. Waking up all the people. We set them straight. Keep our head in them scriptures. We meditate. All in the truth. I can't back down and hesitate. All praise to the Most High. With it no cosign. We didn't keep the law. We gon' levitate. We don't choose every no lies. With it every word out. With it for the truth. I'm a heavyweight. We live in this spiritual warfare. We all gotta gather together. We do that. We got them nations in more fear. We a separate nation. No explanation. My people, they need to listen. Crunch time, yeah, time's ticking. With the truth, I'm a servant. Don't stop. We working. Just hoping my people will see the mission. So we gotta bring it out. We got the truth and we bring it out. We cannot lose when we bring it out. We making moves and we bring it out. Hey, bring it out. We got the truth and we bring it out. We cannot lose when we bring it out. We making moves and we bring it out. Let's go. Bring it out. We got the truth and we bring it out. We cannot lose when we bring it out. We making bring it out. Bring it out. We got the truth and we bring it out. We cannot lose when we bring it out. We making moves and we bring it out. Let's go. Ken. Bring that out. 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 I say the baby gotta show. Bring that out. Get your knowledge on the go. Bring that out. Wisdom help the nation grow. Bring that out. Get the truth in the form of a show. Bring that out. All of our soldiers amazing. All of our captains be leading. LOZ bringing in light. Shining on what we're achieving. Wake up the people that's sleeping. Wake up the nation like coffee. Wake up and take up your cross beat. Hold up, Pastor man, you lost me. You should be teaching at Christmas. I'm sure that you know that it's pagan. Look how we packing the prisons. Blatantly destroying our nation. Single parent home is definitely becoming our swag. Did we send our children through the same system? Pledging their allegiance to flags. Bring that out. 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 I say the Hebrews gotta show. Bring that out. Get your knowledge on the go. Bring that out. Wisdom help the nation grow. Bring that out. Get the truth in the form of a show. Bring that out.
I've been running from my past, I'm up to a sprint. Daily I pray I don't crash in this life of sin. It's so easy to relax back to where you've been. That is why you can't relax, you can't afford a bank. We can't afford the same. Yeah, I wish I he paid the ultimate price. I really ain't know what the meaning of love to I read his life. Was living so wicked, man, I was just rolling the dice. Got a chance at repentance, so you know I gotta think twice. The Bible said you find a treasure when you find a wife. A husband and wife that agrees, a beautiful sight. With commitment, you gotta learn patience. So I'm not gonna learn overnight. But with time, I had learned to get right. But with time, I had learned to get right. Can't be dark and room for the light. That's like trying to be dead and alive. That's like trying to find truth in the lie. Got a script, but I ain't shipping on high tech. You got a book in your mindset. Choosing a lie, you can't hide that. Demons come, you gotta fight back. Demons get slayed, got that sword in my hand. If I don't fight until the end, I might be a dead man. Se vi bom dia, mpaka sote yo se man. Sunday se vi bom dia, mpaka sote yo se man. I've been running from my past, I'm up to a sprint. Daily I pray I don't crash in this life of sin. It's so easy to relax back to where you've been. That is why you can't relax, you can't fold a bed. You can't afford to sin. I was not bad in the spirit and I had to get up.
Yes, indeed. It's that time now. It is the BTO podcast. Tell a friend to log in. Be a friend. Share this on all platforms. Put it on your FB, your IG, your Instagram, your Twitter. Put it on your TikTok. Let the world know that it's time for the BTO radio show. I am your Chief Minister Shalimar from the Light as I Am. And I have with me the ring king himself.
Yes, sir.
Right? The one hitter quitter, right? Captain of captains, right? Leader of the lead, leader of the pack, right? Right. If you ever heard about this man has he got titles in this thing, man. When the new album coming out?
Actually, I was gonna run the album cover by you tonight. That's behind the scenes. That's post
Behind the
production.
scenes, that's exclusives.
Yeah, that's post production.
Exclusive.
We working. We outside, man.
Okay, we outside. I got Crucial Courage in the building.
Shalom, shalom. What's good, Israel?
That's what's up. I got my engineer extraordinaire, and we paid our cable bill this week, so we got the anchor man with the master plan. He's waiting in the wings. He'll be coming up on screen shortly.
Yeah, we might need some sponsors too, man. Who want a sponsor to bring that out show, man?
We could use some sponsors, man.
Need some sponsors, man.
Right. Use some sponsors. All right. I guess things happening. Right.
Your advertisement could be here for a small fee.
That's it. Cream. Right. So you're looking at the title. The title is Dietbetes. Dietbetes. Right. Diabetes is a serious disease that affects our people, disproportionately the so-called blacks, right? And natives of this land, we disproportionately suffer from diabetes. And your doctor would say, well, this is something that runs with your people. Right.
Yeah, they say we are pre-genetically disposed to these type of diseases.
Correct. They say we have high blood pressure. It must run in your family. But it's not the high blood pressure that runs in your family, nor is it the diabetes. You know what runs in your family? The diet. We pass traditions on from parents to children to grandchildren, and we're eating the same thing. And not only we're eating the same things, but as time goes forward, the food itself becomes more and more degraded. Mm-hmm. It gets more and more weak, less vitamins, more toxicity in the food. So we're passing a bad diet, and then the bad diet is being compiled with the mistreatment of the vegetation in this world right now, the animals, the livestock, the food chain is broken. The FDA is here to make sure that the food doesn't kill you too quickly. But that slow death, they're not concerned.
Bring it out.
They say that's in your hands. Mm-hmm. Well, it's high time for those of us that have wisdom, knowledge, and understanding that we apply to our lives. We apply it to our daily living. We have to also apply it to our consumption of foods. So how did this happen to us? Well, the same curses that we all read about in Deuteronomy 28, it tells us how this happened to us. We were put in the hand of our enemies. One sought to use us for gain, and once they have amassed that gain, they sought to have us, die a slow death and be weak in our old age. They only really wanted to use us in the prime of our life. They wanted our strength from 20 to 60. After that, we were useless to them. Mm-hmm. Who am I talking about? I'm talking about the plantation industries here in America. They used us in the prime of our lives to cultivate their industries. And when we got old, they planned for our death. So they fed us the worst of everything. And in our ingenuity, in our wisdom, in our ability, in our skill, we took the slave diet and made something called soul food.
Preach.
Because once you are the salt of the earth, that can't be taken away from you. You always can make something out of nothing. That's the hustle mentality of our people. But now we're reaching a point where Yah has given liberty to us, those same captives. We cannot use that liberty to put ourselves back into captivity by following the same things that we did in the past. There's something called the SAD diet. SAD stands for Standard American Diet. Why is it sad? Well, it's sad to our people because our people we were not genetically dispositioned to consume crap and genetically modified foods. We were genetically dispositioned to consume the richness of the earth. When Yahweh gave us our land and the scouts went to see it before we entered the land of Canaan, they said this land was filled with milk and honey. He said this land had clusters of grapes so big it took 2 men to carry it. Show you that we understood the richness of the land. And now our people are lined up for KFC sandwiches and fighting over chicken sandwiches.
Mm-hmm.
My, have we fallen. So we got a video, we're going to look at a little history about this slave diet and how it transformed into this soul food or home food diet that we call it today, and how we're going to have to transition once again into clean eating and a spiritual diet, giving Yah reigns over our consumption and our meals and how we nourish ourselves. So that's what we're going to go into tonight, family. I suggest you check it out. I take you tell a friend to log in. Anyone that wants, yeah, that's right. Anybody that wants some guidance on getting right, getting physically right, getting tight, you know, we got the Ring King here. You know, he do his thing in the gym. He do his thing.
Yeah, do my thing in the kitchen too now.
You know what I'm saying? He be chefing it up, right? Crucial chef, crucial cuisine. Is that what it's called?
Chef Crucial.
Chef Crucial. There you go. Chef Crucial's out there coming to a party near you and saying he could catering things of that sort. You know, trying to use the best ingredients ever, man. Which is the most
kosher.
That's it. What's that? Oh, you said kosher?
Everything kosher.
Everything kosher. Starting a kosher culture. That's what we're starting around here. So let's get some. Matter of fact, let's bring up the anchor man. Let's bring him on. Let him get some of this convo. Right, coming to us from the stratosphere. Right. Shalom, King. You had a conversation, right, King?
Khan, all praises. So I actually wanted just to drop a 2 cents real quickly on what we're speaking about, because I 100% agree with everything that you were saying, but a lot of people are unaware that a lot of the diseases and a lot of the things that are caused are also caused by parasites.
Mm-hmm.
And these parasites are actually found in what we eat. So when we look at all these things that we eat in, like the diabetes, a lot of people don't even know that diabetes is actually a cause by parasites, because when the parasites attack your pancreas, that means that your body can no longer produce the proper amount of insulin naturally in order to regulate. So these are just a few of the things that are very, to make our people aware of how important it is to not only maintain a healthy diet, but also that you cleanse yourself too.
Absolutely, man. Learning how to deal with your body, learning that there's many factors that keeps this machine going, man.
Hmm.
Yeah.
And in the Father's kingdom is always good against evil,
Hmm.
right? Even inside your body is good against evil. Even when you're eating is good against evil. And the more good you do, and the less evil you do, the better you will be, right? That is the mathematics of surviving, right, in this kingdom. And Yah showed us that in the scriptures. So let's get Colossians 3, verse 17. Let's get busy in the word. Let's get a couple scriptures out. Then we got the video coming on deck shortly. So let's get Colossians 3, verse 17.
So this is the book of Colossians, chapter 3 and verse 17. And whatsoever ye do in word or deed, do all in the name of Hamashiach Yahushua, giving thanks to Yahweh and the Father by him.
Right. So let's get Sirach chapter 1, Ecclesiasticus chapter 1, verse 18. Ecclesiasticus chapter 1, verse 18. Let's see what the Father encouraged us to do as a people.
The book of Ecclesiasticus, chapter 1 and verse 18. The fear of the Most High is a crown of wisdom,
Right?
making peace and perfect health to flourish.
Right. So if you fear the Most High and you wear his fear as a crown of wisdom, you mean fearing him is on your mind.
Mhm.
Your crown is wearing on your head. So it weighs on your mind the fear of the Most High. You said, what is he going to make? Read that again.
Making peace and perfect health to flourish.
Making peace and perfect health to flourish. So if we really fear the Most High, we should be at peace and we should have perfect health.
Con.
When you go to the doctor, they're supposed to say, man, what are you doing? Your blood pressure ain't never hot, right? They should be asking you, what are you doing? You know what I mean? What's your diet like? They should be asking you questions like that because your LDL is low, right? Or
Cortisol is low.
your cholesterol is where it needs to be. Everything is looking good. All his numbers, you killing all his numbers, right? That's how it should be when you go get checked out. When they check your blood, they're supposed to be checking and be amazed at the condition of your health. If you are fearing the Most High with your diet. But if you're going traditional, if you're going through the traditions that come from our captivity, if your diet is based on the traditions of our captivity, then what? You're dooming yourself to a cursed existence where pain, anguish, hurt is a part of your life. Like you said, you're getting comfortable being uncomfortable.
Mhm.
And that's one of the worst things you can do. Right? Half of us is so tired by 3 o'clock, we need a shot of cafe con leche to make it through the day. We need to hit that. We need to hit that little cup from the Colombian spot, or we drinking energy drinks, right?
Yeah.
Monster and what's the other one?
C4 and
C4 and Red Bull trying to get wings. You gonna get wings, all right? You gonna end up in the heavens. You keep messing with that stuff.
yeah, that's what's that guy name that was doing the videos before?
Which
The
videos?
older guy, he was breaking down the women and everything like that, and he died in the hotel room with the women.
Kevin Samuels.
Yeah, that's how Kevin Samuels died.
Oh, messing with all that stuff.
Yeah,
Oh, I didn't know.
Mhm.
I never knew that. I never knew how he died.
Hmm.
he probably was popping some type of pills.
I thought he was on that Cialis and the other one, the blue pill, the red pill. Can't be mixing them pills together, boy.
He had
Stop your heart.
I was about to say
Mhm.
he was on a concoction. He was on a
He's on a cocktail. The brother was on a cocktail, right? So, and we can't do that to ourselves, man. We got to be a lot more aware and conscious, do the research, and just get the toxicity out of our lives, man. So let's check out this video. Let's get into this video that really sparked this conversation, family. All right, this video is going to be set up and playing for fair use for educational purposes only. All right, the name of this video is Slave Diet. All right, let's check it out.
You that the delicious comforting dishes we now know. What if I told you that the delicious comforting dishes we now know as soul food originated from the scraps of a brutal past? How did the remnants of slavery transform into a celebrated cuisine that embodies resilience and cultural pride? Hey everyone, welcome to Aggressive Intelligence. Join us as we explore the extraordinary journey of slave food evolving into soul food, a narrative steeped in history, creativity, and survival. Let's uncover the powerful story behind soul food's evolution. Long before soul food existed were the diverse culinary traditions of West and Central Africa. These nations sported a rich array of ingredients and cooking methods that would form the bedrock of what we now understand as soul food. Staples like yams, okra, black-eyed peas, and rice sat at the heart of many African diets.
It's making me hungry right now,
One-pot
man.
meals, stewing in palm oil, along with a
Is our
variety of
mics open?
spices, were common techniques of cooking. When millions of Africans were forcibly brought
So now,
to America
fam,
during
hold
the
that video for a second, fam. Right or wrong, black-eyed peas, cornbread. Talk to me.
They said
Fried chicken.
okra.
Talk to me. I mean, this is the stuff where people, like you said, they proud. Yo, nobody can mess with my mac and cheese. People are proud about their mac and cheese, right? Right. I know our sisters on the line. I know we have Sister Hars in the building. We got our producer. Each of us in the building. Mariah, talk about us. Sisters, our women, they take pride when they go in the kitchen, right? We got some brothers that chefs too, but you go into a sister kitchen, that's a part of her, her whole reputation.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, what? Don't fade me in the kitchen. But now, with all that deliciousness, are we considering our health? Are we making the best choices with the oils and the substances that we're using?
Yeah.
Because if it's all about trying to remember, we learn how to season to make crap taste good. We're gonna get that out this video. We had to season the worst to make it taste like the best. But now, if we're eating the best, we got to make sure that we're not still over seasoning or over consuming things to try to make the food taste like something when the food naturally tastes like something.
I'll tell you another thing. It's a way when you go to the grocery store, you can cut corners, man. I mean, we got choices when you go to the grocery store. You can get that we was talking about grapeseed oil earlier.
Yeah.
You can get that all natural olive oil, or you can get vegetable oil. You know what I'm saying? You can get that mixed stuff, or when you get your salt, you can get kosher sea salt, or you can get that I don't know the name of the other salt. I don't purchase that type of stuff, but if you're doing the mac and cheese like you was suggesting earlier, you can go ahead and get Sargento, or you can get that Velveeta. That Velveeta is it's like plastic almost.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's options that you got options when you go to the grocery store.
Yeah.
The soul food, we're not saying necessarily cooking soul food is a bad thing, but we got to start thinking about and being conscious about the type of ingredients that we use, and also, gluttony, overeating, overindulging, having too many big portions of food throughout your day.
Con, let's play that video.
Slave trade. They took more than just their bodies with them. They had their cultural knowledge, including culinary expertise. Although slavery was despicable, these people found a way to preserve their food traditions and adapt them to their new environment and the limited resources they encountered in America. At the same time, this ensured the preservation of the culinary heritage from the practice. Life on plantations was marked by strict limitations in food. Plantation owners barely provided minimum rations to the slaves, which typically consisted of cornmeal, salted fish, and minute portions of vegetables. Frederick Douglass gave the following account in his autobiography regarding the meager provisions offered for slaves to eat.
Right, so screenshot of my credit score. Frederick Douglass is one that spoke a lot about what was happening in a lot of his memoirs about how we were treated in this land in the Americas. right? And you'll learn through a lot of his writings, man, that a lot of our cultural foundations came from what happened to us.
Mm-hmm.
So essentially, our culture here in the world today is a culture that's based off of PTSD, right? Post traumatic, stress syndrome, right?
Hmm.
That we suffered things at one point without will, and now we're willingly following the same train of thought, not realizing where it came from
Mm-hmm.
because we're disconnected from our forefathers. A lot of us is disconnected from what's happened to us in the chattel slavery or the transatlantic slave trade here in the Americas.
I mean, I would even argue that at this point it's Stockholm syndrome because we got smartphones, we got
Hmm.
AI. You know what I'm
We
saying?
got comfortable.
The information is not like the information is not out here. You know, we got smartphones, we got AI, we got all this technology telling us the food is bad. You know, you got TikTok giving us these videos with information. At this point, we just making a choice. You know, you were speaking earlier about how the soul food we was using that because that's the scraps that what the video is telling us as well. We using the scraps that we were given in slavery to, for survival, to survive with our food. But it come to a point where we have to evolve on what we were given. Like, at what point does the soul food evolve to a different level where it's actually nourishment and it's delicious for our bodies as well?
And Salakia Chief, just to add one more point as well. A lot of times, like, I don't know if y'all remember, there was a movie in 1998 called Soul Food, right? It
Of
was a movie.
course.
And remember in that movie where she was making the whole plate for the family and stuff like that? She had the chicken, the cornbread, and everything, and the family came together. And then towards the end of the movie, she had diabetes and she died of the diabetes, right?
Yeah, they had to cut
So
off Big Mama leg.
exactly, they had to cut off Big Mama's leg, and that was in 1998. Now, decades, we're here in 2025, and we're still going through the same things that even happened in that movie. Because why? Like you said earlier, it's a lack of investigating. Because we know we're in captivity. We know that our enemy is not going to feed us the nourish the choice things that's going to be able to help edify us and to help us to build strong. For
Mhm.
example, I tell a lot of people, when you go to the supermarket and one of the ingredients you see in all food is citric acid. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people think citric acid is made something out of vitamin C. But when you go look it up online, do you know citric acid is a black mold that they put in your food? And that black mold actually causes respiratory issues later down the line in your life. So being cognizant, and even like when we're looking at when we're at the supermarket, we're looking at ingredients of certain things we got to buy. We got to start using our phones. All right, let me look this up to see what it is. What are the side effects of these things? Because again, we are prisoners of war, and we know that these people that we're prisoners of is not going to give us what we need to better ourselves. So we got to do
Mm-hmm.
it ourselves.
Absolutely, man. You know that, and this is an individual responsibility. You know what I mean? Because, like I said, nobody's going to come and kick the citric acid out of your hand,
Right.
right?
The high
You
fructose
gonna
corn
have to
syrup.
decide. We're not going to come and rip the fructose corn syrup from off your back, right? You're going to have to be responsible and care about your own health, how and the longevity of your own body, and be aware of the things that your body is doing, and don't underestimate these poisons that's out here, these GMOs poisons that's out here, the genetically modified foods, all these crazy oils. And I know there's an oil called vegetable oil,
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
which fools a lot of people because they see the word vegetable, but they don't know that's one of the most detrimental oils to put in your body,
Yeah,
that will
cancerous
mess your body up. But because they see the word vegetable, they equate it
to
to those
healthy.
healthy things
Hmm.
or the green things in aisle one. That's not the green things in aisle one. The green things in aisle one is vegetables, right?
Whole foods.
You know
Hmm.
what I'm saying? But that vegetable oil got nothing to do with that. And Esau gets away with this labeling, right? So, and they know they're tricking the people. If they really would tell you what it is, you would be appalled. You wouldn't want to put that in your body, right? But they trick with it, and we've learned to trust Esau's labeling.
Mhm.
And that's what we got to break it. We got to break the trust that we have with our slave master, right? We got to break that trust. We got to understand we're dealing with a liar. We're dealing with a devil. And what do you expect the devil to do but to make you sick?
Mm-hmm.
Right?
You know, an interesting topic that came up while we was doing our research and talking about this topic. Can you consider yourself righteous if you're fat? Or can you consider yourself righteous if, you know, your child is fat? Like, be honest. I mean, we already know there's certain conditions where you can't avoid that, but we talking about, okay, my child is hungry, so I'm about to put the YouTube in front of my child. I'm gonna put you know, Candy Crush in front of my child, and then I'm gonna feed them a Happy Meal.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Some of these things we have a choice over, and like I'm watching, I was just bringing out, we had soul food in 1998. You know what I'm saying? Big Mama lost her leg and she died from diabetes, feeding soul food and lard and, you know, hog maws to her children. And to remember Big Mama, they came back together and they cooked the same food she just died from.
Exactly.
So it's like, okay, what are we doing? Can we say we love ourselves, or can we say we love our children if we giving our children the same type of diet that we know, you know, over the past 2 centuries has been killing our people historically? Like we gotta make some better choices at the end of the day at this point, because we know better.
Mm-hmm. And you know, people don't get offended by this class because when you start talking about weight and you start talking about what you're eating and when you're not eating, people get offended.
Mm-hmm.
Let's get to Rock 31, verse 22. But as Hebrew Israelites, you know, we don't run from offending people for the truth's sake. Matter of fact, out of every knowledge on the earth, when you come across them Hebrew Israelites, they will offend you for the truth's sake. Because they know in that offense, you're made better. We're not offending you to because we think we're better than you, because we are you. Mm-hmm. But we are offending Satan. And if Satan is on you, well, then you're going to be offended too. All right? That's what we're fighting against. Let's read that real quick.
The book of Ecclesiasticus, chapter 31 and verse 22.
Uh-huh.
The gladness of the heart is the life of man.
It's like it start with 21.
Come. Give not over thy mind to heaviness.
It's like it. You got Sirach 31, 21?
Sirach, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
The book of Sirach, chapter 31 and verse 21.
Come.
And if thou hast been forced to eat, arise, go forth, vomit, and thou shalt have rest.
Hold that. Mm-hmm. If thou hast been forced to eat, arise, get up, go over to the toilet or to the garbage and vomit. What does this mean in the spirit? Meaning that don't hold on to traditions that are hurting you. Don't say, well, I've been doing this, my mama did this, so you've been forced to eat because you didn't know any better. But it's time for you to vomit. It's time for you to go and get it out of yourself. Start something new.
Unbig your back.
Oh, unbig my back. Right? Sounds like a song, right?
Unbig my back.
Read on. Well, I tell you, our Hebrews ain't no joke. Read on.
My son, hear me and despise me not.
Don't be mad at me. Hear me and despise me not. Now, why is the scripture saying this? Because they know. As soon as you start telling somebody they can't eat this and that, you're finna have a fight. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. But you got to be wise with it, because you have to make it their choice. We're here to edify, right? We're here to encourage. We're not here to force. Mm-hmm. Right? We're here to edify and encourage. But you got to want to do it. You know why? Because if you force somebody, when they turn their back, they're going to do what they want to do anyway.
They're going to be hiding a snick under their pillow.
Right? Mm-hmm. When I should be training people in the gym, one thing I used to always ask them, like, do you want to do this exercise? Because there's many exercises in here to do. Because if I'm forcing you to do something and you don't like it when I'm not around, guess what?
I'm
You
gonna
ain't gonna
skip
do
that.
that crap.
Yeah, I'm gonna skip
Mhm.
that one up.
You gonna be like, man, what that dude had me doing, I ain't doing that. That dude try to kill me. But you can find the things that you can do, that you agreed to do, right? Alternatives that are good to you so that you will stick with it, if that makes sense, right? The healthiest diet is the one that you stick to, right? So the one that's easiest to do. We don't have to take that vegetable oil. The olive oil is on the other aisle, right? You don't have to take it,
Mm-hmm.
right? Don't mess with that canola oil, right? That's not good for you, right? You got cold press, what they call that, grapeseed oil we were talking about. There are oils that you can't consume, right? Coconut oil,
Mhm.
right? There's a list of oils that you can consume safely. Then there's a list of oils that you can't.
Yeah, even when it comes down to sugars, we was just talking about, okay, people don't want to eat all that sugar, but Splenda is not the alternative. You want to get stevia. You know, stevia comes from a plant. It's a
You got
natural
stevia, you
sweetener.
got monk fruit,
Yeah, you got
you
monk
got a lot of
fruit.
different
You got a agave. You
agave.
got
Yeah,
honey.
there's many. There's so many alternatives to highly processed granular white cocaine sugar.
If it's white, it ain't right. We
That's
already
it.
know
Say
that.
that
You,
again.
you, you know that's right.
Look, I'm what?
Okay.
Okay. All right. All right.
Okay. Let's read that 22nd verse.
My son, hear me and despise me not. And at the last thou shalt find as I told thee,
Mm-hmm.
in all thy works be quick, so shall there be no sickness,
There be what?
be no sickness
Come on.
come unto thee.
Come on now. The scripture is talking to us. The outcome of this is no sickness will come on to you. So if you hearing this class and receiving this instruction and you learn something that we go over today, it's a little less sickness that will be in your life. I mean, who could be mad at that? Because sickness, what comes with sickness? Pain.
Mm-hmm.
Who signs up for pain?
Bills, the medical bills,
Financial.
Mhm.
Yeah. Trying to avoid the pain.
yeah, medications.
Medications, trying to avoid the pain. Right? Next verse.
Whoso is liberal of his meat,
Mm-hmm.
men shall speak well of him,
Mm-hmm.
and the report of his good housekeeping will be believed.
Well, believe me that what? We got to share. If we got something good, be liberal with it. Share it with everybody. Right? Why keep it to myself? Why? Oh, you need to keep your diet to yourself. Why? If it's good, why not be liberal with it?
Mhm.
Give it away. Yo, this is free. What they call free game? Free game
Yeah.
on the Bring It Out podcast tonight. Free game we going into. The Father's concerned with our health. A lot of the stuff that we love to eat, like you saw on that screen, all that fried this and fried that. The Most High inspired somebody to come up with an air fryer. So you don't even have to be dunking stuff in oil and frying it. If you know a little bit about biology, what happens when you heat oil up to a certain temperature,
Mm-hmm.
right? It becomes something else, right?
Becomes toxic.
Which is toxic to your body. It becomes something else. But guess what? You can air fry it. Right? Hot air. It's like, come on. The Most High is looking out for us. Right? He's stretching out his hand. We gotta grab it. Right? So let's go back to the video, I think. Let's go back to the video. Let's get some more. Let's get some more footage. Roll that bean footage.
The Caucasian diet or the Caucasianism, that one is
Mhm.
also the KFC.
Okay.
I think we should run some more of the first video. A little bit more.
Yeah.
Following account in his autobiography regarding the meager provisions offered for slaves to eat: 8 pounds of pork, or its equivalent in fish, and 1 bushel of cornmeal per month. This ration barely kept adults alive and working. These meager rations were supplemented by whatever the enslaved could scrounge. They gathered wild plants and hunted small game and fished when they could. A few were even permitted to have small garden plots where they grew vegetables. These gardens were an oasis of sustenance, but also a source of pride, a way for the enslaved to exert a modicum of control over what they ate. Perhaps the biggest adaptation was using parts of animals that were simply thrown away by slave owners. Intestines became chitterlings or chitlins. Pig feet, ears, and tails became tasty dishes. Even dandelion greens and pokeweed, considered weeds by owners, were added to the diet. This resourcefulness paved the way for many soul food staples. Preparing chitterlings required significant cleaning and cooking to make them edible, and enslaved people seasoned them with herbs and spices to create a savory dish.
Hold on right there.
Chitterlings became a staple in soul food.
Chitterlings, right, became a staple in soul food, along with the fish and the pork. Now we know what kind of fish that was. Okay, what's the most popular fish in soul food?
Catfish.
Catfish, right? So you know the devil will feed you pork and catfish. Two, that's what against the dietary law. The Bible says in Leviticus 11:7 that we're not to eat swine's flesh. And he goes on to tell us in 11:10 that the things in the ocean that we're not to eat is nothing without fins and scales. But our slave master, who is the devil according to the Bible, of course, that would be the exact food he would give us. And not only that, he gave us the intestines of an animal, which is organs which we're not supposed to consume. And we had to go through great lengths to even make it edible. They said they had to go through great lengths to make it edible.
Right, to clean. Have y'all ever been to a house where they was cleaning chitlins?
I have not.
Ugh. Ugh.
But I heard it smelled more like shitlins.
Yeah, con.
That's what I heard.
Exactly what it is.
Or tripe. Y'all ever seen tripe? Ugh.
That's another set of intestines, right?
Ugh. Yeah. Ugh.
Yep. More shitlins. And we have no business ingesting those things. What good could come out of that? When the Lord said don't eat it. The Lord said don't eat the fat, the organs of the animal.
It smells like you're not supposed to eat it either.
Mm-hmm.
Your nose will tell you. The nose knows. All right. Let's go on.
And are still eaten today, especially in the southern United States.
Fair use.
Ham hocks are the lower part of a pig's leg, near the foot. They are a tough, fatty cut of meat with little muscle, so they were often discarded by
That's like Big Mama leg right there.
Enslaved people slow-cooked ham
Y'all,
hocks,
what you eat?
often using them to flavor stews, soups, and greens. This practice continues in many traditional southern dishes, where ham hocks are used to add a rich, smoky flavor to collard greens, black-eyed peas, and beans. Like other tough cuts of meat, pig feet required long cooking times to become tender. Enslaved people would braise or boil them and season them heavily to make them more palatable. Pig feet are still considered a delicacy in some southern and African American communities. Tripe, the edible lining of a cow's stomach, was another part of the animal that slave owners often discarded. Enslaved people used tripe to make dishes like stews and soups, often slow cooking it to soften the tough texture.
The refuse.
Tripe is still a common ingredient in many traditional dishes around the world, including African and Latin American cuisines. Oxtails are the tails of cattle, and though they were once considered undesirable,
now that's what
they
I'm
were
talking
commonly
about right
given to enslaved people.
So we're gonna pull up on the oxtail for a minute. So now,
now we get
even though they thought they was trying to diss us with the oxtail, but we done took the oxtail and made it something that is a delicacy in the cuisine throughout the world, and it's lawful. That's the main thing. So they thought they was going to do something to us with the oxtail even, but it turned out we were able to what? That was the Most High giving us a little mercy.
You know, we made oxtails taste so good. Have y'all been to the store and seen the price of oxtails lately?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Man, listen.
Man, for a serving of oxtail, boy, that thing about what?
If you go to a high-end restaurant, that's at least $30.
At
$30,
least,
yeah.
Right?
A good
at least
Jamaican restaurant.
$30.
You know, I seen some oxtail in Sam's Club recently, and I was trying to figure out what do Esau be doing with these oxtail? Like what they season their oxtails with?
Nothing.
Probably put some mayonnaise on them. Put some mayonnaise on them, put them on the grill.
I was, I was gonna say, he said nothing. Say it tastes good just like that. Just put some fire on it.
Mid rare.
Man, the fire will give it flavor. No, the fire don't give it flavor. Yeah, you just you're a sick man, right? I mean, they know to use salt and pepper. That's it, salt and pepper. They got 2 shakers in their cabinet, salt and pepper. So, but
yeah, that's crazy. We was able to take a tail from my ox, put it in a slow cooker, cook it for like 4-5 hours, and make it tender.
Make it tender, make it delicious, and that's that little bit of mercy. So we didn't have to eat that. So we don't have to eat that tripe. We don't have to eat that chitlins. We don't have to eat that ham hock.
Yeah.
We don't have to eat none of that. Look at that. The oxtail was right there. But we all know you go to the store today, oxtail is expensive, right? We made oxtail expensive. They used to think it was something to throw away until they saw what we did with it. Then it became a high-end cuisine. They was throwing it away. That's why they was giving it to us. They didn't want that part. Esau, he want the ribs, right? He want the steaks, the ribeye. He didn't want the oxtail. Man, he was throwing that away.
I done seen so many different oxtail. I done seen oxtail pizza, oxtail lasagna, oxtail sushi. They doing everything with oxtail right now.
Everything with oxtail.
Because we made it popular.
We made it popular. We put oxtail on the map. Right?
And going back to eating different alternative stuff, they was just talking about how we used to season and flavor our food, like our soups and our collard greens with the ham hocks. You can get smoked turkey. Smoked turkey is just as good. It's actually better. Even better, way better. Because when you smell that, when you don't eat swine's flesh and you come in a house that cooks swine, you smell it. It's a turnoff. Yeah.
Like you go to one of them restaurants that cooking swine up in there, you can smell it in the wall. Like it's a complete turnoff, man.
Yeah.
So your body stops digesting those things. It starts to reject them because you was never supposed to eat them in the first place, right?
Yeah. If you ever seen Martin, he said, "Lips that taste wine can't kiss mine."
I know that's right.
Let's go on.
They were commonly given to enslaved people. Oxtails are bony and have a high fat content, but with long, slow cooking, they become tender and flavorful. Oxtail stew, a rich and hearty dish, has its roots in the creativity of enslaved cooks and remains a beloved dish in soul food cuisine today. Organ meats, such as liver, kidneys, and heart, were often given to enslaved people as part of their rations. These cuts were nutritious and could be made into flavorful dishes when prepared with the right techniques and seasonings.
Well, that's his opinion. But liver, heart, kidneys, all that, we're not supposed to eat that, family. That's that's organ meat. That's meat from the sack. Anything that's inside the sack.
What's the gizzard?
The gizzard.
People still eat gizzards.
I don't know what gizzards are. Good question.
I think gizzards is like the if I'm not mistaken, like the intestines of like depending
chicken?
on
the muscular stomach.
Like I think it's like the intestines of the chicken.
It's the intestines of the chicken. Yeah. So it's another way of saying shitless.
Yes.
Somebody listening right now about to order some gizzards too.
And Salakia, just a true story. I remember years ago.
Yes, all them organs right there on the screen. I got you one moment.
Yeah.
But I want the family to look at all them organs. You see them organs that the engineers pointed out. We ain't not supposed to eat those organs, man. The blue, the red, the purple. That's the part of the animal that's supposed to be discarded, taken away. It's supposed to be pulled out of the cavity. That's why all animals are made with a sac, a membrane that houses all those organs, so that when you kill the animal that's meant to be eaten, that membrane could pull all those organs out and you still have the rest of the animal to consume. Yah designed the animal to pull these organs out. So why are we taking the pulled out organs, turning around and cooking it? Right?
I know the organs are off, but it's chicken foot soup. Is that kosher?
Chicken what?
Chicken
Chicken
foot soup.
feet?
I
Yeah,
Mm-mm,
mean, it
chicken.
is, but
mm-mm,
I'm just not a fan favorite.
mm-mm. Because the chicken is stepping on everything. You know what I mean? And then on top of that, you know what I mean? And then on top of that too, the way that, back in the day, like remember the cattle and then the chicken, they used to be literally farm raised where we had to farm raise them. Now the chicken and the cows, they have them in these huge farms crowded on top of one another. They feed in all these antibiotics to the animal and stuff like that. And you thinking you paying $30 for oxtail, but the oxtail got all these hormones and these antibiotics, and you wonder why every time you getting sick.
Yeah, that's another thing too.
So,
But
Esau will find a way to ruin everything. As you said, Chief, Esau does have salt and pepper. Do they use it? No, they don't use it. But I digress.
I think
Mm,
Benjamin about to cancel us over that chicken foot soup, though, man.
Now,
I'm
ain't
just
no
listen. The question is it lawful? It is lawful. Now, is it high on a list of delectable bites? Not on mine, but to each his own when it comes to that. But it's not unlawful. But the gizzards and the heart and all that stuff is unlawful. All right, so just keep that in mind. All right, so we're learning. We're learning as a family. We're learning. We're here to learn. The podcast tonight is going to be a learning experience. Where did this diet come from? Where did this soul food, delicious food diet come from? Well, a lot of it came from our captivity. And if we want to cut ourselves from our captivity, we want to be uh, operate as born again, free to serve the Most High. Right? The Bible tells us we shall know the truth, and the truth shall make us what?
free.
Free. So if we free, we got to eat as free, live as free, talk as free, right? Interact as free, love as free, hate as free. Those that know the Most High. We can't skip over any part of our salvation, man. Can't skip over no part, man. James 4 and 17, real quick. James 4 and 17. Let's get James 4 and 17.
This is the book of James, chapter 4 and verse 17.
All right.
Therefore, to him that knoweth to do good and doeth it not, to him it is sin.
So I employ everyone that's listening to this class tonight to understand you're going to learn things. Brother's going to bring it out. Now it's on you. The onus is on you. You learn to do better, right? No one's, like I said, nobody's going to come and kick the partially hydrogenated oils out of your mouth, right? You cannot put it in there, though, right? You have the power to do better than you've been doing in the past, so you could be better than you was in the past. And that's the thing. The Most High is offering increase and abundance to you, whatever it might be. Why not take it? Why say, nah, I don't want to be better. I want to be just as bad as I always been.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to be healthy. I want to stay sick. We have to choose to do good, right? Choose to do good. Choose not to be sick. Choose to eat a diet that is under control, right? There's nothing wrong with having self-control with what you eat. I know food is a big part of a social event. You go to places, people eat, and you want to eat. I get that. But let's choose better places to hang out. They got better food on the menu, right? It ain't none of it's gonna be perfect. It's still. I remember it was an old teacher that I used to learn from, brother Saab Para. I remember he used to say, "Look, man, either you want the food that the white man crapped on, or the food that he pissed on, or the food he just spit on. But it's all damaged, right? Choose your poison, right? Because don't think for a second that you're going to be without any poison. You're going to get some, but why not get less, right? Why not get less? Why not choose the lesser of what the opportunities are set before us?
Yeah.
Right. So that's the encouragement that we hope the family gets out of this class tonight.
Yeah, even when you talk about the social gatherings and eating there, okay, we understand, you in the cultural setting, you amongst your brothers and sisters, you want to eat good, you want to talk about the food and the dishes everybody brought, but you shouldn't be eating like that every day. Make that an effort to make that your cheat meal. What about the days you're not at the new moon or not at the Pentecost or not at the Hanukkah? How many days are you fasting? Are you only waiting until the Day of Atonement to fast, or are you intermittent fasting, or
Talk
what I'm
about it.
saying?
Talk about it.
Are you eating a donut as soon as you wake up in the morning, or as soon as you lay down, you eating a tub of ice cream? We gotta have the Bible talks about gluttony. We think just because we keep all the other laws, we righteous, but it also talks about gluttony as well, overindulging, overeating. You know what I'm saying? That's also a sin.
Con, con.
Matter of fact, you hit two very powerful points, and the only thing that can make it more powerful is to back it up with scripture. Um, and that gluttony is a dangerous thing. Let me see Leviticus 22:8.
The book of Leviticus, chapter 22 and verse 8. That which dieth of itself, or is torn with beast, he shall not eat to defile himself therewith. I am the Most High.
Right. So, hold on. That's not what I'm looking for. Hold on. Hold on.
While you looking, I did want to mention, if we go to the parable about the prodigal son,
Yeah.
He was out gambling, what I'm saying, spending all his money, dealing with different whores, probably at KOD. It was the point where he went to eat with the pigs and he was eating that slop where he actually realized, man, I used to eat good when I was with my father, man.
Yeah.
My father, he'll make the oxtails with the collard greens, and we used to have a red snapper, and I'm out in the world eating slop with pigs. Like, have you ever had that feeling where you overate and you like, man, I shouldn't have did that, man. It was good going down, but coming out is gonna be a different story. Like, we all have had that, what they call the itis before.
I mean, they literally call it pigging out.
Yeah, they call it pigging
They
out.
actually call it pigging out, and we're not supposed to be associating ourselves to no damn swine. Right? I got it now, though. Deuteronomy 21:20. That's what I'm looking for. Deuteronomy 21:20.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 21, verse 20.
Go ahead.
And they shall say unto the elders of his city, this our son is stubborn.
He's what?
He's stubborn.
This our son is stubborn. So these are two parents bringing his son, their wayward son, to the gates, to the officials, to the authorities to get him dealt with, because they can't deal with him in the house. Right? They had a wicked son. He said, this our son is stubborn. Read.
And rebellious.
And rebellious. You tell him what to do, he don't want to do it. Read.
He will not obey our voice.
Go ahead.
He is a glutton.
He's a what?
He's a glutton.
Like Crucial was bringing out. He's a glutton. What does that mean? Overconsumption. But that goes along with a rebellious mind, a stubborn mind. You don't want to hear what the brother's bringing out. I don't care what they talking about. I'm going to have my 30 wings. Dude, you don't need to eat 30 wings. Nobody needs to sit down and eat 30 wings, right? Got to think about what you're doing, all right? So don't be a glutton. Read on.
I lost my place.
Read it from the top again. Deuteronomy
21 and 20.
Con.
Yeah.
Con. And they shall say unto the elders of his city, this our son is stubborn and rebellious. He will not obey our voice. He is a glutton and a drunkard. and all the men of his city shall stone him with
Shall do
stones.
what?
Stone him with stones.
He's a waste, right? If he was in England, they would say he's a waste man, right? He's a waste man. He don't. What's the point of having you around? You gluttonous, you stubborn. All these things go hand in hand.
Every time I'm in the kitchen, you in the kitchen.
Mm.
In the refrigerator.
We got to be mindful of this, family. These are things that we could control. And another thing that Crucial brought up was fasting, man. One of the most powerful things you can do for your life, for your mind, for your health. It's the most powerful thing you can do to your body. Is shut down your digestive tract.
Mhm.
Shut down your influx of foods. Now you can fast what we call spirit fast, which is dry, no water, no nothing. Or you can water fast and bring in water. If you're doing an elongated fast, either one, your digestion is shut down. That's the point.
Mhm.
And when you shut down your digestion for over 14 hours to better over 24 hours, I should say,
Mhm.
Mhm.
then your body has no choice but to what? Consume calories from within. And the first, and your body ain't stupid, it's gonna consume any weakness that's in the body first. So the weak cells will be destroyed and consumed by your body first, right? And your good cells are gonna be preserved. So your muscles will be preserved. You're not gonna lose muscle unless you're fasting for a really long time.
Mhm.
But the first set of within a 24 to 36-hour fast, your body is just cleaning house.
Mhm.
You're not gonna lose muscle either. The way you'll lose muscle is you not using your body. If you just laying on the couch and you laying in the bed, but if you telling your body, okay, I'm about to move something, I'm gonna use this muscle, it's gonna be prone to preserve that muscle because it knows it's gonna need it.
Mhm.
Also with the when you going into fasting, within 72 hours it goes into a process called autophage, because your body thinking that you're in like our body's like a fight or flight situation. So immediately when you fasting, it start to use all of that calories, as you were saying, Chief. And what it does is it helps to kind of like clean the entire body from head to toe, open up that lymphatic system, which is your sewer system, so that way you clean everything out. I mean, when we go to sleep, we fasting.
Yeah.
you know so it's not something new. That's why the first meal most people have in the morning is called breakfast,
Hmm.
because you're breaking that fast that you had throughout the evening. But if
It
we
don't even
was
have to be the morning. It could be whenever you eat. That's when you break your fast.
Mhm.
exactly, so it's very important, because what sense would it make if the way to the kingdom, that gate is narrow and you can't even fit through the gate? Okay, so it's very important for us to do these things,
Oh
because
boy.
when we look at all these prophets, when we look at Elijah, David, you never saw, and Elijah outran a chariot. Okay, it wasn't because he had a Big Mac in his mouth, because they knew the importance of fasting, and they knew how important it is to maintain this body. Because if we are the temple of the Most High, what is it going to look like when the Most High sees your temple and you got all that slop in it?
Yeah, look at the example the Most High gave us with the Daniel diet. You know what
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to follow that exact diet, but that's a model. You know what I'm saying? That's what we should be striving to eat more of at least.
And let's get that. Let's get the book of Daniel 1 and verse 8. Let's visit that. Um, as one of our scriptures, we're going to start to pull this in. Family, I hope you've been edified by what we're talking about tonight, or at least encouraged if you didn't know these things before. Trust everything that we're bringing out is facts. This is not a fictional show. This is a factual. This is edification.
Yeah, it's not theory that
Right.
we telling you. This is
Exactly.
facts.
These are stuff that's been practiced by ourselves, tried and true. We know that this happens. We know that this is true, right? That fasting is powerful. Um, you know, uh, the longer the better. You know what I'm saying? The longer the better. If you could do days, man. If you could do a week, do a week. I know it sounds crazy to some people, but listen, we're speaking things that we know and things that we've done, and we know the fruits of that. All right. So let's get Daniel's 1 and verse 8.
The book of Daniel, chapter 1 and verse 8.
Let's go.
And Daniel proposed in his heart that he would not defile himself with the portion of the king's meat,
Right.
nor with the wine which he drank.
Right. He said he's gonna defile himself with the king's meat or the wine that he drank. Right. Meaning he's not getting down with this wicked king's diet, but he's gonna do something else instead. Read.
Therefore, he requested of the prince of the eunuchs that he might not defile himself.
Uh-huh.
Now the Most High had brought Daniel into favor and tender love with the prince of the eunuchs.
Mm-hmm.
And the prince of the eunuchs said unto Daniel, I fear my lord the king, who have appointed you meat and your drink. For why should he see your faces worse liking than the children which are of your sort?
Right. So he said, he says, why you not going to eat and drink? You're going to be all tore down. You're going to be looking crazy, right? Let's see what happens. So the prince of the eunuchs is advising Daniel. Said, man, you're supposed to eat and drink. The king wants you to eat and drink. If you don't eat and drink, you're going to be looking worse than the kids out in the streets, right? But let's see what really goes down. Read on.
Then shall ye make me endanger my head to the king.
Right. So and then the king gonna get on me, and he gonna punish me for not feeding you. This is what the prince of the eunuchs is saying to Daniel. Read on.
Then said Daniel to Melzar, whom the prince of the eunuchs had set over Daniel, Hananiah, Mishael, and Azariah, prove thy servants, I beseech thee, 10 days, and let them give us pulse to eat and water to drink. Then let our countenances be looked upon before thee.
So all they ate was pulse and water. So I'm going to ask my engineer extraordinaire to give us a breakdown of what pulse is. What is pulse? We know what water is, but what's pulse?
Here we got Strong's H2235. It just says
Vegetables. So they fasted. All they ate was vegetables and drank water. So let's see what happened. Read on.
Then let our countenances.
Now remember, the prince of the eunuchs says they're gonna waste away eating like that. Let's see what happens. Read.
Then let our countenances be looked upon before thee, and the countenance of the children that eat of the portion of the king's meat, and as thou seest, deal with thy servants. So he consented to them in this matter, and proved them 10 days. And at the end of the 10 days, their countenances appeared fairer and fatter in flesh than all the children which did eat the portion of the king's meat.
Right. So they end up coming back looking better than ever. Better than ever than those that ate the king's meat. Right? Pause. Read.
Pause. Thus Melzar took away the portion of their meat and the wine that they should drink, and gave them pulse. As for these 4 children, God gave them knowledge and skill in all learning and wisdom.
What happened?
The Most High gave them knowledge and skill in all learning and wisdom.
So what? Well, their minds cleared up. Their minds cleared up. They was able to retain information. So Yah's blessed them to know things because they could retain it. Read on.
And Daniel had understanding in all visions and dreams.
Right. So for those 10 days, they were even better off than everybody else. To show you what fasting means, to take away something, right? They fasted from what? The king's meat and the wine, right? Some of you might be saying, listen, maybe you drink. Maybe you say, you know what? I ain't going to drink this month. You know what I'm saying? These are healthy things to do. Maybe you eat different things. You know what? This month I'm not gonna eat none of that stuff this month.
Hmm.
There's different levels of fasting. It's not just fasting of completely nothing ingesting,
Yeah, you can say no
right?
fried food this month.
No fried food,
No, no sugar.
for the next few months. Let me see how I feel. No sugar for the next year. See how I feel, right? You can stray away from these things because it allows your body to what? To rest and replenish. Now, the first thing that, out of my experience, I would suggest is water fasting, right? Out of my experience, right? Other people have their own experiences. I've done dry fasting and I've done water fasting, and in my experience, if you're active, water fasting is a little bit more palatable. But if you're able to do dry fasting, spirit be with you, right? Or you fast from meats, or you fast from whatever, spirit be with you, right? But I can only speak from my own experience at this moment. That water fasting is powerful, right? It's powerful, allows your body to do wonders, right? So, like we pulled in the book of James 4 and 17, family, you've been edified, you've been warned, you've been encouraged. I pray you all pick up your cross and bear it and make yourself a little bit better. Having witnessed this class and taken part in this podcast. So we're gonna do closing thoughts at this moment. How about you, Crucial? What's some closing thoughts you might have?
um, like we brought out earlier, we're not bringing out this information because we trying to rebuke people or hurt people feelings or anything like that. We want to see our people doing better. We want to see our people living happy and healthy lives and long lives. And we just got the information out here. The information is available. You got people like Dr. Sabi that brought us certain information. You got Elijah Muhammad, he brought us certain information. You got us here at the Bring That Out show. We got the information. So it's about what are we going to do with that information? How are we going to utilize that information? And how are we going to make that a practical use of our everyday lives so we can live happier and healthier with our families? And I will petition, with the cast here that maybe we could do a part 2 next week or the next few weeks. I think we brought out some powerful information, but we just scratching the surface
Oh
right now.
yeah, we just touching it, man.
Yeah,
We ain't go deep.
yeah. Cole had some videos in the chamber on deck, man. I know he got some powerful information to bring out as well. So this is something that is not an overnight thing. This is something that we need to keep educating ourselves on and keep working on. So, like I said, I will petition that maybe we come back and do another follow up video about this topic.
God, how about you, Anchor Man? Any closing thoughts?
Khan, I have Sirach chapter 30 and verse 15.
Okay.
It reads, health and good state of body are above all gold, and a strong body above infinite wealth. There is no riches above a sound body, and no joy above the joy of the heart. So I read that to say that, even though, it may come out that we're being, very we're admonishing, but we have to realize this is a life or death situation. We all are aware that we live in these last days. And when Jacob's trouble pop off, we have to make sure that we are not only spiritually, but also mentally and physically fit. Because it wouldn't make any sense. You can't even jump over a fence when things get crazy, you know? So it's important for us to definitely be able to take care of what the Most High has given us. And one final thing, I'm gonna take my glasses off for this. For all you brothers that eat mayo and with the soda, give it a break a little bit. Kind of cut it off a little bit. We have to be able to eat a lot more healthy, put a lot more greens in our body. Like Chief brought out, there's nothing wrong with a water fast. If you feel like a water fast is difficult, do a fruit fast. Do watermelon, grapes, apples. These are the things the Most High has given us, because at the end of the day, this body's all we got here. So we definitely got to make sure we tend to what the Most High has given us. How you?
Con. Engineer extraordinaire, you want to chime in on anything? I pass the mic to you if you need.
Nah, y'all covered everything. I have a little bit more of a harsher thought on it. I I personally want people to feel better.
because I don't think they want to make a change if they don't feel bad.
Mhm.
They have to, for the most part, they have to go through something in order to make a change.
Huh?
Either a family situation, they get diabetes, or they get something.
Just watch Soul Food tonight.
Oh, God.
Watch Soul Food.
Khan. So, hallelujah. So, as y'all are tuning in, if there's something that's being mentioned that strikes a chord, I mean, good. Use it. You should feel bad about eating chitlins and the ham hocks and what is that, the intestine.
Gizzards.
Yeah, there's a reason. We were given a slave diet in the past. But now, we're coming to this truth. We ask questions about what we've been taught. What about the questions around what we've been eating? We should circle back to the beginning, to the foundation of all, well, what we've learned, like as a child. So if I was a child, I speak as a child, and I didn't ask any questions. Now I'm an adult. Now I ask questions. Why do we do this? Why do we do that? Same thing when it comes to your diet. So if you feel bad, that's good. Time to make a change.
So he says he's gonna give you the straight business from the cap. Capricorn said, "Feel bad, that's great." Or make a change so you can feel better. I understand that completely, right? Because people need to be pushed in the right direction, and sometimes pain is the only thing they respond to. So if it takes pain, then let it be so. I got a scripture myself to end off with. That's Sirach 31:20, and it says, "Sound sleep cometh of moderate eating. He rises early, and his wits are with him. But in the pain of watching and the choler and pains of the belly are with an unstable man." Right. So the Bible is telling us you got two different things here. You got what does that say? It's not unstable. It's
Unsatiable.
unsatiable. Sorry, it's like your family. I know it's not unstable. I don't know why I said that. Unsatiable. An unsatiable man is a man that never gets enough, right? Moderate eating, as everybody was saying here, fasting is the key. Fasting is strength. What is fasting? Fasting is moderate eating. That's what fasting is. We're not saying never eat again, but have your moderations with eating, right? Sometimes, some days, don't eat, right? And this will give you what? Sound sleep. It give you said you arise early with energy. It say your mind will be clear about your wits. But if you're an unsatiable man, you're gonna get pains. You're gonna be you're not gonna get no sleep. You're gonna have choler, right? You're gonna have situations in your body because of your unsatiableness, because you don't get enough. So, family, take this warning, take this encouragement. Stay out of the soul food, at least the soul food that they were talking about, that was based on our slavery. Stay away from the unclean food, the unhealthy food, and by all means, fast and practice moderate eating, and see if you don't get the blessing. This is the BTO podcast. I'm the Chief Minister Shalimar. Crucial's in the building.
Shalom.
Anchorman is on the line, right? The engineer extraordinaire is here. We got the producer. She's in the chat. Isha Mariah. We got our guests in the building. Maybe our engineer can rattle off our guests in the building. Tahara's in the building. Who else is in the building? El Shammai One is in the building. The Prince of the North is in the building. Who else in the building? The Beam Team, Shamu Allah, is checked in. Who else we got in there? That's about everyone so far. And Captain Marshall is checked in with us. All praises. Family, we pray that y'all be healthy. spiritually wealthy. You know what I'm saying? And with abundance. Until we meet again, my DJ is the best DJ in the world, DJ Baruch. Check him out. Shalom.
Shalom.
Oh, yeah. We're going to your mama house, right?
Yeah, she invited us over.
Okay, cool. Yeah. She gonna treat us to eat? Cool.
It's food.
He booty? Oh my God, what is this, man? What is this on the wall? Say that again, was right here, man.
You don't know who Jesus is?
It's our good People crazy as shit, nasty as nobody's business. Don't you know that's where they keep the boo-boo on the feed? Don't you get your fucking DP, then you got the nerve to wonder why it's cancer in your kidney. Evacuated 32, decided to curse the feed. We the bigger kids, for you kids that call fees. Tap to 11, just to be specific. You can't just be what up if you want out the specific. Coast, roach. Sucking brain, Jeremiah did it too, said do not even bring your gang. Christmas trees up in this thing, no. Kiss it by, listen, told you, Shia coming back and he gon' swing and you gon' miss your coat. Christmas, Halloween, Easter, Thanksgiving, we just missing those. They really just ain't Nick, ever worship the same. Got your rest and your booty in the plans to look flashy. Look, you know, I'm a daddy, cousin, all of y'all so nasty. Girl, you nasty.
Boy, you nasty.
Girl, you nasty.
Boy, you nasty.
Girl, you nasty.
Boy, you nasty. You so nasty.
In your city, weedy, got it, lit. There's a whole lot of friends and a lot of peachy. Kid started. To hear 12. There's a whole lot of friends and a lot in your city, weedy, got it, lit. There's a whole lot of friends and a lot of peachy. Kid started. To hear 12. There's a whole lot of friends and pull up a king of Benny. Know what it is when we in it. Wherever the churches we in it. Until if a blind speaking the kids. To run on your mill. Was too many casualties. Me and my faculty made demons flee. You think they was after me? On the streets. Silent bus. They tried to tackle me. Your clutch. Devil ain't helping me. It ain't much, we could just casually. For the Lord, gotta check for the grill. Religion, if it was. Take care of the widows, ain't gon' feed me. Ain't get on your business, cause your boy be feeding me. Mr. Clark, my whole gang can get on the track, start gangster. You ain't the employee or the whole team. It's here a spiritual war, but don't think it's for the name. Get this far, what you think, I mean. Seen that college girl go wrong, Jesus green. We restore kings and queens. In your city, weedy, got it, lit. There's a whole lot of fishes and a lot of peachy. Kid started. There's a whole 12. There's a whole lot of fishes in your city, weedy, got it.
Monologue in the bed at
There's a whole lot of fishes and a lot of peachy. Kid started. The year 12.
Produced by
Through all my trials and my tribulations, I give him praises cause he's holy. When I've been sinning and I'm down bad, I still remember that he's holy. And I be doing things that I ain't supposed to do, but he's still holy. I give all praises to the Most High, giving him my whole life. Holy. Sing it for me now. Yeah, now I'm in the truth now. Can't rap about vanity whenever I be in the booth now. Now I found my purpose. I cannot be leading the sheep astray. Yeah, the demons lurking, but yeah, I was shy about to lead the way. Don't care what the people say. When I'm feeling down and I'm feeling low, yeah, that's when I need to pray. Yeah, I gotta stay strong away from my flesh, cause that's where the demons stay. Every day I gotta pray to you. Every word you say is true. Through the fire you will take me through. All my life I was lost, but now I'm born again. It's with light in my blood, yes, I am born to win. Got that on my own every single day, avoiding sin. Gotta endure until the end. Ay, through all my trials and my tribulations, I give him praises cause he's holy. When I've been sinning and I'm down bad, I still remember that he's holy. And I be doing things that I ain't supposed to do, but he's still holy. I give all praises to the Most High, giving him my whole life. Sing it for me now. Yeah. There is no peace for the wicked. Gotta stay in the word so I can be great. I gotta stay deep in the scriptures. Tell the devil I'm keeping my distance, cause the Most High, he's all I need. Old man trying to sneak in, gotta knock him off till it's R.I.P. Wickedness, yeah, that's all I see. Gotta still let my light shine. Meditating that holy word, helping me stay in the right mind. Scriptures say the last gonna be first. Steady waiting for the right time. Every single day I fight crime, cause the spirit willing, but I know the flesh is weak. Got me down on my knees, fall down and I get back up, I'm right back on my feet. Yeah, I gotta preach the word on these street corners, stomp demons out of my cleats. My faith strong in my God, I know he's all I need, yeah. Through all my trials and my tribulations, I give him praises cause he's all I need. When I've been sinning and I'm down bad, I still remember that he's all I need. And I be doing things that I ain't supposed to do, but he's still whoa. I give all praises to the Most High, giving him my whole life. Sing it for me now.
Show me how to shine. What is that? I'm cool. Love that near. What's wrong here is